Hey guys, Jengar here. Welcome to today's realistic review in which we are taking a look at the Spitfire Mark Vc sitting at 4.7 battle rating in the British line. The second British Spitfire released in patch 1.77 and the third in total. This one has 4 Hispanos and is definitely a nice looker. We are getting into the thick of patch 1.77 and we only have a few planes that are new left to review. This one will come out this weekend, but there will be others as well this weekend. I'm gonna try to give you something nice to look at this weekend. Let's get into this one though first, and we'll see what comes out the rest of the weekend. The maximum speed of the Mark 5C at sea level is 468 kilometers an hour without WEP and 525 kilometers an hour with WEP. Go up to 4500 meters and the plane can go up to 445 kilometers an hour without WEP and 454 kilometers an hour with WEP. At 6500 meters the plane goes up to 387 kilometers an hour without WEP and 394 kilometers an hour with WEP. Now if you compare this to the 5Bs and the 5B Trop, you can see that the plane is faster in the maximum speed at sea level, but if you go up to the higher levels the plane is still faster than the 5B Trop on both altitudes, but at 6500 meters the 5B is faster, especially with WEP. And the WEP apparently on the 5C at higher altitudes doesn't quite perform like the 5Bs do, so keep that into consideration. The top speed in a dive in this plane is 723 kilometers an hour before it redlines and 810 kilometers an hour before it rips apart. Now the ripping speed is slightly higher than both 5Bs, but the redline speed is exactly the same. Control stiffening in the plane though, and here we come to the effective dive speed as well. The control stiffening already starts at 500 and really starts to become severe in the roll rate at 650. The elevator stays functional up until somewhere between 700 and 750 kilometers an hour. So you can pull out of the dive, but it gets more and more difficult very early on already to get your guns on target on planes that have better performance in a dive. The stall speed in this plane is 150 kilometers an hour, which is quite alright. Firepower in the plane is great. Now you run 4x 20mm Hispano Mark IIs with 120 rounds per gun. I used stealth in this match and a 600 meter convergence. Now the 120 rounds for the Hispanos is already much better than the Spitfire and Mark 5Bs. Those only have 60 rounds per gun and that is really atrocious. The 120 rounds is already a far cry better than that, and really makes them perform a little better. You also have 2 in every wing, so you do get a little bit more destructive power on a plane if you only hit from the guns from one of the wings, let's say. The ammo load thus is decent and the firepower great, and what I've tried to do as well is to get a little bit closer, and of course sometimes you need to take pot shots to try to get a plane to turn and all that jazz. But if you want the killing shot, it is best below 500 meters or within 500 meters, let's say. Acceleration in the plane in a straight line is very good, and in a dive it's good, which is very nice. Energy retention in the horizontal is decent to good, a little bit better than the 5Bs it seems, and in the vertical it's decent. Climb rate in the plane is great, and this especially has to do with the overheating that seems to be much less than the 5Bs. You can overheat it of course with using a lot of WEP, but you know that really takes a lot of wepping and you really have to do your best for that. You can do it though, but on 100% like in the 5Bs, overheating is not a problem, and with WEP you can easily cool it off going back to 100. So the overheating problem in the 5C is much less severe than in the 5Bs, and I'm quite happy with that because it makes the plane much more functional. The turn time in this plane is excellent, just like the 5Bs, very nice. The flaps do rip off as well at 280 kilometers an hour. The roll rate is average to decent. with overall maneuverability being very good. Now overheating I already talked about. Durability, it can take a hit or two. I mean, you don't want to use Spitfire for target catching or bullet catching, but it is pretty good and it can take a hit or two. It doesn't fall apart on you very easily. As we roll over the D9, finally getting a shot on him and evaporating him after him boom and zooming us for quite a while. He finally lost patience though and took too much risk, and we could take advantage of our maneuverability. 3 kills in that first match and first place in the team. Now of course the Spitfire 5C is a energy fighter that can transition very easily into turn fighting, and that is very nice. You do not really want to boom and zoom in this plane due to the early control stiffening and the performance in that dive, which is not as good as some of the German planes, for example. So as a boom and zoomer, it is not naturally made for that, but you can of course make short boom and zoom runs like you can do in most planes. But a boom and zoomer, this plane is not. And it's an energy fighter. It does very well in the energy fighting role with its energy retention, its great climb rate, which can get you up to a high position again and reset and get into another energy fight with somebody. The plane also doesn't lose its speed in turns very quickly, so after a maneuver it is also still pretty fast compared to some of the German fighters, for example. Turn fighting, of course, we all know the Spitfires are very maneuverable, so you can outturn a lot of the planes that you're facing in the Spitfire, though you have to be careful though. Some planes can do some rather surprising shenanigans with flaps usage and all that jazz. For example, the G55s, which lay within range of this plane. In up tiers you'll get G55s. They can be competitive and you have to pull everything together for those fights because they are very competitive. I roll through the shots on that F4 and we go into a turn again. I am the highest plane here with 3 planes below me, and I'm trying to keep my energy advantage here. Of course, there we go for the head-on, very nice. That was a gamble a little bit. I had to eliminate one of them because 3 of them was a little bit much, although we do have 2 allies in the neighborhood. One is very low though and cannot really participate in the fight against these 3 guys. And there's also a 190 down there somewhere and a new BF 109 as well here, so we've got plenty of opponents here. And here we go into a maneuver, rolling over the top, and we're gonna try to get guns on target here. He is trying to shoot my ally there, shooting at the P-38. Come on, get the lead right there. Yes, there we go. I was using stealth here just to get a little bit more surprise on the Hispanos as well, getting a little bit more time to get my guns on target before an enemy is notified that I'm shooting at him, because you know the Hispano Mark IIs do sparkle a little bit more than the average 20mm cannon, and although shooting at closer range does make the problem a little less worse, it is still touch and go sometimes, and you can get some weird results here and there. Now I'm running out of ammo. I only have 48 rounds left, and we really got to make it count. It's about 10 shots per gun, 12 actually. So we want a good lead and a steady target here. Here you see the plane overheating a little bit as we're weaping a lot to keep our energy up. Here we go. That was very close. We do get hits on the right wing. Oh well. And we're out of ammo. We are out and we gotta go back to base. Hear something? Yes, we've got a Focke-Wulf on the butt, but he's going for the P-38. As we save the P-38, he saves us here. He distracts that 190 long enough for me to get behind him. Although we have no we have no ammo, so we can curse at him. Maybe that will kill him, but no. He's turning on, and we are going to pick up some speed and extend. The 109 seems to be going back to the airfield, and the 190 will probably finish his turn. He did actually, and he came after us. We went back to his airfield. We found the 109 there. My ally in the meantime killed the 190 and got killed by the airfield trying to get this guy. And we had a little bit of a back and forth with this guy. Me going to their airfield, him coming back to our airfield, me having to refuel actually because he was side climbing over their airfield so long. And now finally we got into a fight with this guy in the middle of the map. We already got a crit and a hit on him, and he is diving, and basically if we don't screw up royally here, we should have our 4th kill this match. And a very satisfying match again in this plane. He's going up. Well, that should be it. Come on. A hit on the right wing. No cigar yet though. He should have damage though on both wings, so probably has less lift than us. We keep the plane up a little longer than he as he stalls out, deploying the flaps to make the turn a little bit faster. And as we raise the flaps, my left flap breaks off. We shoot him down, taking out the elevator and the right wing, and that's it. Last man standing, always nice to finish those matches with a win. Pulling through for the team. 4 kills, 1st place. Let's see what kind of rewards we got for that performance. We've got Final Blow, Last Man Standing, Terror of the Sky, and Bulletproof. 71,000 Silver Lions and 2,900 research points. I'll see you in the conclusion. Hey guys, so here we are after the match. Now the 5C definitely is a nicer plane for me at the moment than the 5B and the 5B Trop. Just especially due to the lack of overheating on this one. The severe overheating that was present on the 5B and the 5B Trop in this patch is less present in the Spitfire Mark 5C. That makes it more capable to use its climb rate to its maximum potential, with you being able to whip much more on this plane and making the climb rate great again. Overall, I really like this plane. The excellent turn time, the maneuverability can really be a big problem for many opponents, and the plane still is decently fast at the lower altitudes. It really does slack off at the higher altitudes for the Mark 5C though. And it sits a little bit higher in the battle rating with 4.7. You do face a lot of good planes, and the Hispano cannons are a little bit iffy sometimes still. But if you get close to the opponents, they still do enough damage, especially with the focused 2 Hispano cannons on either side, very close together. That really makes sure that you at least hit with double shells on a hit when you get it, even if it's only from one side of your cannons. But all in all, good energy fighter, good turn fighter, and a joy to fly at 4.7 battle rating. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, become part of this community. If you are already a subscriber, don't forget to like the video, do leave me a comment, and if you really feel like helping out today, make sure to share the video with your friends and let them know about the channel.